All right, so luxury brands. We're talking about some serious shakeups and family drama at the top of a global empire.
It's fascinating how these massive companies operate, especially when they're family run.
Yeah, I mean, we're diving into the world of LVMH, the biggest luxury conglomerate out there.
They own like what, Louis Vuitton, Dior, even Tiffany now.
Exactly. And there's this big power shift happening. Alexander Arnault, one of the sons of LVMH's CEO, Bernard Arnault,
Right.
is taking on a bigger role.
He's the deputy CEO of Moët Hennessy now.
The wines and spirits part of LVMH.
Yeah, all the fancy stuff. Hennessy, Veuve Clicquot, you name it.
So it's like a real-life succession battle, right?
Kind of, yeah. All 5 of the Arnault children have positions in the company.
Wow.
But this move with Alexandre has everyone talking. He's only in his early 30s.
Really?
And this puts him in line to maybe lead the whole thing someday.
And he's already made some big moves, hasn't he? Didn't he completely change Tiffany after LVMH bought it?
He did. Remember that campaign with Beyonce and Jay-Z wearing all those Tiffany diamonds?
Oh,
That was him. He's going after younger customers and a more diverse customer base, which is smart these days.
But it's not all smooth sailing for him, is it?
No, not exactly. Cognac and champagne sales are actually down, especially in places like China and the U.S.
Oh, wow.
And then there's the whole tariff thing with the new Trump administration. That could really hurt LVMH.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I read something about Alexander having a personal connection to Trump.
Yeah,
Do you think that could actually help LVMH?
it's possible. It definitely shows how much business and politics are intertwined. Sometimes it's not just what you know, it's who you know.
Absolutely. So what do you think Alexander's approach tells us about these huge family businesses?
Well, it's interesting. There's a lot of built-in trust
Yeah.
and shared history, which can be a real strength. But there's also potential for rivalry between siblings, the weight of legacy, and the challenge of adapting to new ways of doing things.
And Alexander seems to have a different style than his father, right? More modern, focused on social media, celebrity endorsements.
Exactly.
Could this be a turning point for LVMH?
It might be.
Yeah.
He's definitely shaking things up. The key is, if he can balance appealing to younger generations while still keeping the prestige of those big brands, that could really change the luxury industry.
Yeah, it's like he's bridging the gap between old school luxury and this new, constantly changing world. I'm really curious to see what happens.
Okay, so we've talked about luxury fashion, but let's switch gears a bit and talk about whiskey. Specifically, what's happening in China.
Yeah, the Chinese whiskey market is booming right now.
It's not just like a small trend either, is it?
No, not at all. We're talking major companies making big investments.
Like Diageo, they own Johnny Walker, right?
Yep. And they just opened a massive distillery in China.
Wow, I did see that.
It's called Yuntuo.
Yuntuo.
It's in Yunnan province. It's a beautiful area known for its unique climate. So they're going all in on this idea of Chinese whiskey. But why China? What makes it so attractive?
Well, for one, the market is enormous, and it's growing fast. More and more people in China can afford luxury goods now. And whiskey has this image of sophistication, heritage. It fits that lifestyle.
So it's about getting into a new market, but also recognizing how preferences are changing.
Exactly. Chinese consumers are becoming more discerning. They want quality, authenticity, and they like things that connect to their own culture, their own heritage.
So this isn't just about selling Johnny Walker in China. It's creating a whole new kind of whiskey.
Right. And it's not just the whiskey itself. They're building a whole experience around it.
Oh.
The Yuntu distillery is designed to be a tourist destination. They even have this tower, it's like 29 meters tall, made entirely of used whiskey barrels.
Wow, that's impressive. So do you think Chinese whiskey could actually become a global thing, like Scotch or Japanese whiskey?
I think it has the potential. Japanese whiskey was pretty obscure once, and now it's huge worldwide. Chinese whiskey has a lot going for it. The quality's getting better, lots of investment and innovation. And that huge domestic market is driving demand.
It really shows how tastes are evolving. Something so associated with one part of the world can find a whole new audience somewhere else.
It definitely does. And it reminds us that industries need to adapt if they want to survive. It's a really exciting time for Chinese whiskey. Who knows what the future holds?
Okay, so we've gone from family drama in luxury fashion to the rise of Chinese whiskey. Now for something completely different.
Oh.
Ready for a tequila heist story? All right, so from high-stakes luxury and Chinese whiskey, we're taking a turn into something a little more, well, spirited. Get this, $1 million tequila heist.
Wow.
And it involves a celebrity chef you might just know.
Okay, you've got my attention. Who are we talking about?
Guy Fieri,
No way. The diners, drive-ins, and dives guy?
the one and only.
What happened?
So he and Sammy Hagar, the former Van Halen frontman, they have this tequila brand together.
Santo Spirits.
Yes. And they were transporting over 24,000 bottles of tequila from their distillery in Mexico to the U.S., worth about $1 million.
Oh, wow.
And get this, 2 trucks, the whole shipment got hijacked in Laredo, Texas,
Seriously. Right on the border.
just after crossing.
That's a bold move.
It really is. And authorities think this wasn't just some random theft. It was organized, professional. They think it involves something called double brokering.
Double brokering. What's that?
So basically, the thieves pretended to be legit freight carriers. They used fake credentials to trick the original trucking company into handing over the goods.
So they just vanished with 2 truckloads of tequila.
Yep, poof, gone. It makes it harder to trace the stolen goods, and then they can probably resell it on the black market.
That's crazy.
I know, I bet Fieri and Hagar are furious.
I'd imagine so. That's a huge loss.
Yeah, Fieri called it a huge setback, especially because they were getting ready for the holidays, their busiest time.
Makes sense. Was anyone hurt?
No, thankfully no one was hurt, but it's a logistical nightmare.
It's like a real-life Ocean's 11, but with tequila instead of casino chips.
Right. And there's even some added intrigue here. Fieri thinks it might be sabotage, like someone is trying to take them down. He's offering a $10,000 reward for info that helps get the tequila back.
Wow. You never know with these things. There could be a whole other story behind the scenes.
It definitely makes you think. And it really shows you the competitive side of the spirits industry and the risks involved, especially when you're dealing with international transportation.
It's true. You don't always think about those things when you're just enjoying a drink.
No, you don't. So we've gone from family drama at the top of a luxury empire to the rise of Chinese whiskey, and now a tequila heist worthy of a movie. What a ride.
It's amazing how these stories all connect back to the same thing, no matter what industry we're talking about, whether it's fashion or spirits. They're all influenced by global trends, economics, even just the random events of the world.
It's true. And sometimes those random events are more exciting than we could ever imagine. Who knew we'd be talking about a tequila heist today? But that's what makes these deep dives so fascinating. There's always something new to discover. And that's a wrap for today, folks. Join us next time for another deep dive into the world of luxury.